welcome to you all, dear Sagittarians. How are you doing? It's been a while, but we're back on track, and this is a great month to start and redo these videos. And next year I'm going to be doing some new things, but that's for later on. Let's get started with you, dear Sagittarians, because you're gonna like October. You're gonna like it. Why? First of all, Mercury is going direct. Venus is going direct. Mars is going direct. Jupiter is going direct, your ruler. And Saturn is going direct. This is amazing for you Sagittarians, because I know, because I have a Sagittarius rising myself. I know that Sagittarians, that is a fire sign. I don't like it when, especially last month with the Mercury retrograde in Virgo, and that was your 10th house of work and your social status in general. It was going backwards, but it was a good Mercury retrograde. But probably you did a lot of thinking, you did a lot of purging, and now is a month for action. It's not a month for thinking now. And you kind of like that because you're a fire sign, and fire signs like to do instead of thinking. So here you go. And it's pretty much positive in general, of course, because this is a story. The last month was a lot about purging. It was a lot about cleansing, actually, and rethinking. For you, might have been a lot about work and what is not good about it, what should be, what is good, and what am I going to keep, and what am I going to change. Now, this is a time to put newness into action. And this newness for you is really happening on one of the most interesting houses of the horoscope, which is the 11th house. The 11th house is really a house that Sagittarius really likes, because we Sagittarians, we need to have plans for the future. I mean, as much as we love to live in the now, we always, and I see that with all Sagittarius. My boyfriend is a Sagittarian, the Sun and Sag. He has it as well. If he cannot make plans for the future, he doesn't feel good. And so this is not what's going to happen. I mean, now in October, you will have plenty of energy to think about the future. Because I'm talking about this new moon. And normally, a new moon in Libra, by the way, and normally I don't mention the new moons, especially if it's not in your sign. But why do I mention it with you? Because it's squashed between Jupiter, your ruler. So your ruler, you are squashed between this new moon. So you're starting new. I mean, that's very basic and very abstract, you could say, but it's true. You're starting all over again. And it's in your 11th house of new hope. It's the house of hope. It's the house of the future. And of course, if we do see a future again, we are getting more hope again. So if you take that away from a Sagittarian, he's depressed. I mean, a lot of people say that Sagittarians are so optimistic and that they're never depressed. They're not showing it because the glass is mostly half full. But they can be quite depressed when they are not seeing the future. So they are visionaries. And now you've got this plenty of energy that you have a possibility to not only seeing it, but also working on it and taking the first little steps. So I'm not saying here that you need to start all over with a new job or whatever. No, it can be very small, but that you find your energy back, so to speak. So this new moon happens on the 1st of October, but will have an influence for, the whole of the next 6 months, you could say. Because it's really about planting a seed, maybe a little idea about the future. And that has to do with connections as well, because don't forget, this is all happening in Libra, the relationship sign. So maybe a friend helps you with an idea. Maybe you get in touch with a friend and you get more inspired. Maybe there is a friend of yours that wants to do something with you in business. And that gives you energy back. Or maybe there is a totally new aspiration that comes out of the blue, but through a connection. That one you say, for instance, and it can be anything, but for instance, you're saying, I'm going to go to school again. I don't know. So new aspirations that give you new hope and that are planting the seeds for a lot of success, because Jupiter in the 11th is very positive. It's not only success and being having meaningful friends, because it's of course also the house of friends. It's not only that, it goes beyond that. It's having success by the actions that you do that has to do with your work. So if you're doing your own business, great, because it's a financial house as well. The 11th house, it's the second house from the 10th, you could say. So expect that through your actions that you're doing, which is Mars in your second house, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, you can get very big success, and even bigger than you thought. So networking here, your social network, there's something about it that expands. What else? It could be a friend that becomes very meaningful for you as well, and maybe turns into a bit more than a friend because it's in Libra. So it's the house of wishes, and of wishes that you always wanted. So there is some wish coming true for you, you dear Sagittarians. Isn't that great? But it might not fully show itself in this month, but you will see already the little seeds planted there. So get used to that. Another thing is that it's connected to your second house, in where Capricorn is, where Pluto is, but where also Mars is this month. And now I'm going to talk about the Jupiter-Pluto square more next month, because it's going to be fully exact next month, the Jupiter-Pluto square. And Jupiter-Pluto, the connections, whether even they are in a square, which is a bit harder work than normal, they're about expansion through transformation. So there is something about what I just talked about that has a deeper sense, and that has a deeper transformative impact on you. Because although this aspect in October is not going to become full, you're going to sense it because Mars activates it. So Mars is going to jump into Pluto, and it's going to first square your ruler and then jump into Pluto. So there is definitely new ideas that also have to do with your confidence, the second house, with your talents, with your money. So there was a way, if you are that kind of Sagittarian that is saying, financially it's not good, I'm trying to find new ways and it's not working, this is the time. This is a time, at least, for planting the new seeds. Because Mars is action. Second house is not only your material resources, it's also your confidence and your talents and trying, and Mars is activity. So you're gonna work hard to accomplish what you want, to accomplish a better life financially, but also when it comes to health. The second house is also associated with health, because when you have enough resources, when you have enough food, when you have enough money, when you feel better, you know. And it's also about the immaterial resources, you could say, but you feel better and you can do more. And therefore, it can give you a boost of energy when it comes to your confidence. And so a lot of Sagittarians are getting a boost in their confidence, especially in October, because of the newness, not because of everything has already a result, but because there is this light at the end of the tunnel, you could say. So very positive for Sagittarians, and especially, and also for the Pisceans, because their ancient ruler is also Jupiter. But especially for you, you are Jupiter and you're squashed between the new moon. So there might be some endings as well. By the way, there might be a cutting out of a friend with that new moon there in the 11th house in Libra. But don't be sad about that, because you are going to attract friends that suit you better, that suit you way better. And not only friends, maybe also people who can help you. And who can coach you in a way, and who are a bit of a mentor, again, that Jupiter in the 11th house, and that are going to help you towards your goals. And so don't put energy in the loss of those friends that are no longer suiting you. I mean, that happens. We, in this society, we put too much how do you say that, of weight, value on friends. I mean, friends are friends, but they're not the world. And that might be that shift that you're making through this constellation of Libra in your 11th house. Because, you know, when things fall away, now there is this space for newness. And, you know, there's no other sign like Sagittarius who likes that even more. Last but not least, so Venus will be in your 12th house the first 2 weeks of the month, and that is a time where you can chill out, you can enjoy life behind the scenes a little bit. You can reload your batteries by just reading a nice book, having a good glass of wine, being alone, and enjoying that. Actually, that's the Venus in the Scorpio. And again, it can be letting go of something that you were very attached to. And then Venus shifts into your sign around the middle of the month. Venus shifts into Sagittarius. Now, normally that's fantastic, but there are some responsibilities here, because that Venus is going to jump into Saturn and square up to Neptune. So yes, is that bad? No, not necessarily. It's a lot about realisticness, being real. So, so you are going to attract more people with the Venus in your sign, definitely. But you're going to put your boundaries very well, having the feet on the ground with other people. So you might be a bit more reserved than you used to, because that's Venus-Saturn conjunction. And squaring up to Neptune is this not expecting too much from others, and as well as being very, very realistic. You're going to, if things are being a little bit too, how would I say, that goes against your integrity, you're not going to do it. You're not going to do it. You might have done it earlier because you were a bit more impulsive, but having Saturn in your sign does make you impulsive, on the contrary. So embrace that. Be glad that. So sometimes you might think, oh, I would have wanted this, but it turns out a bit different than it is. Good, good. It's not necessarily a bad thing. So don't expect too much of. So for instance, if you're wanting to make a change about your looks, it's good. It's good with Venus in your first house. But with Saturn, Neptune square, expect it that you can adjust a little bit. Maybe you're going for the cowboy style in your clothes, and you're saying, yeah, maybe, oh, those boots are a bit too much, or this is a bit too much. You see, you make the adjustments. That's the Saturn-Neptune square that is going on. So you still look like cowboy, but you make a tiny little bit of a... By the way, Sagittarians risings, they do look good with the cowboy style. Anyway, having said that, I wish you a great month. Keep on. Thank you for all your support, by the way. And keep on sharing those videos. I wish you all the best. To see you next month. Bye-bye.